Welcome to this morning's training, you guys. Get your teammates on a call, text them up, whatever you got to do, because we're just about ready to get started here. Just a couple housekeeping items. If you can, turn on your cameras. Get yourself set. This is going to be amazing training like every single Saturday is. But we want to make sure you have a pen and a paper ready to go so you can take notes, because there's always fantastic nuggets to take down when we have training, number one, but when we have Michael Zappia teaching, because his words are golden. So with that being said, Michael Zappia, our mentor, our path changer, is going to teach this morning. I think I know what about, but I'm going to let him to go ahead and share that information with you. Michael, take it away.
Is that right, Colette? You know what I'm going to teach. This is incredible. Trish, she knows what I'm going to teach, and I have no clue as well. Isn't this amazing how she knows me? Yeah, well, let's start out with some, well, first of all, good morning to all of you. Everybody give a wave there. How's it going? Good morning. I'm under the weather. I woke up and I needed some medicine quick, so my sister made me one of those Alka-Seltzer things. They're disgusting. Have you guys ever drank the Alka-Seltzer cold and flu? I don't know what it is. I struggle to finish the whole thing, but I plugged my nose and did the whole thing and got it down. Now I feel a little bit better. Last night, Colette and I had some fun. And I think that's the key to this. One of the secrets in life is just have fun, right? But last night, Colette and I had some fun. I wish I could have invited all of you to be a part of it, but I invented a game. As you guys know, I'm an entrepreneur. I invented a game called the Golden Donkey. And here's a deck of about 100 plus cards, 98 cards. And we're football fanatics, me and Colette and her husband. And we do this little draft thing, not like fantasy sports, but I won't get into the game, but it was a lot of fun. And then it ended up being not a lot of fun, because part of the game is if somebody gets this card, the Golden Donkey, they get to steal anyone's card that they want to. So my uncle, in the true sense of the name Donkey, decided to look at my best card and took my best card from me, which made me go to bed last night really, really frustrated and aggravated. I poured hours into creating this game, designing the cards, and my own flesh and blood ruined my entire draft. But then, you know what? I'm all about waking up in the morning and rolling over and starting off a new day. And I decided to put a message out there that says, hey, I'm ready to make some trades. Let's go. And for a nice little sum of money, he gave me back my card. So it's a really fun little thing that we do. And yeah, that's about that. Colette, you got anything to add about our Golden Donkey experience?
Oh, it's brutal, you guys. Brutal. No, it was a lot of fun. I think I got the winning card, though, so that's good.
Yep, me and Colette actually have the flip-flop of the winning card, we believe. Desiree Heyman's with us right now. What's up, Desiree? Desiree is my very good friend who just joined our team not too long ago, and now she's plugging in. She says that she wants to crush this with us. So everyone say hello to Desiree if you'd be so kind. Awesome. The Finches are with us too. So cool. Well, guys, we're going to kickstart this morning. I just want to set the tone for all of you. And I'm going to throw it over to Colette here in a second, because I want her to add to this, and maybe Trish as well, because they do just an unbelievable job of building this business, in my opinion, the way you're supposed to build it, which is based on relationships, real relationships. But I want to paint a little picture for all of you when it comes to this business. When I first got started in the business, I was just having a great conversation with Steve Harrington. Colette, let me know if Steve ends up joining us today. I wish I would have recorded this conversation the other night and been able to share it with all of you, because it was one of those conversations where I was unconscious of what I was saying to him, and I just knew everything I was saying was resonating with him. And I'm going to do my best this morning to share with all of you those things that I shared with Steve. Now, one of the things about mentorship is if I end up working with one of you, if Trish ends up working with one of you, if Colette works with you on an individual one-on-one basis, because they're going to take you on as a mentor, if that happens, we're going to teach you everything we know. Like, the goal is for me to teach all of you everything that I know about this business. Now, that's going to take some time. It'll take about 21 years, because that's how long I've been in the business. But when you mentor somebody, take somebody under your wings, your goal is to just get them to know what they don't know. And when they know what they don't know and they can start to figure some things out, then they start to grow. We went through this on an earlier call. And then eventually you end up in what I call flow. This is the kind of business that if you take it seriously, you will end up getting into a state where you're not even thinking anymore. Trish, am I right when I say that? Does that resonate with you? And I always point out Trish and Colette because they're two of my favorite people on the planet, but they're two leaders that have put in the time, the work, the energy, the reading, the growing, the learn, everything. So, Trish, when I say that to you in flow, what does that mean to you in flow?
When you just aren't thinking about anything at all. It's just so natural. It's part of who you are. So it just becomes you. There's no worry or anxiety about what you're going to do or say or be. You just are.
When you wake up in the morning, you just go on with your day and it just naturally happens for you?
No, I I do things that get me in the right mindset. I get excited. I get out of bed. I count down because I'm not a morning person. So I have to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like a rocket ship. Well, Mel Robbins right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have a routine and I get myself in the right mindset to go out and meet people. I try to book my calendar of just appointments of meeting people and going to activities or events and stuff and just getting myself out in life. I'm not a big online networker. Like I know a lot of people are, it's just not my thing. So yeah, I have to just be ready to meet people.
Oh, awesome. Colette, what about you? Are your days starting to feel like Groundhog Day? Let's talk about that for a second. Let's everyone put yourself in a position like Colette, where she's leading an army of a couple thousand people at this point. When you wake up, Colette, what's your day like? Like, what does that look like as a leader of a massive organization?
Well, the great thing is when you get to this point, before you get to this point, when you're in business for yourself, you got to manage your time. You've got to set your schedule, because otherwise it can be that roller coaster. Is like, what am I going to do today? So there's so many things you got to do. Like Trish is saying, you got to schedule, get out and meet people, all that thing. But once you're to this point, your team is setting the schedule for you. So it is doing the same thing over and over and over. It's presenting, but it's your team booking your time. So my day is definitely Groundhog Day. I do the same thing over and over and over. Now I'm just starting to put a couple chunks of time in for me so that I can start scheduling once again people to start enrolling myself, because that's very important as well.
Yeah, no, that's a key point that I wanted to talk about too. You can't lose sight when you look at your whole day. It's easy in the beginning when you're building a team, because all you should be focused on is talking to as many people as you can, setting as many appointments as you can, doing as many presentations as you can. It's actually easiest in the beginning of your build. And it sounds like I'm being contradicting to what I talk about. But when you're starting to build the foundation of your team, you're very laser focused, or you should be laser focused. It's how many people can I talk to? How many appointments can I set? How many presentations can I do? Don't make this business any harder than it is. In order to get to the point where your business starts to take a new life of its own, it's on you. And we've got a power quote here at ZTEAM, and it goes like this: if it is to be, it's up to me. Yeah, if it is to be, it's up to me. And can you imagine if we have a whole bunch of people on the team that really put all of it on their shoulders? Like there was a group, Amy Porkowski, who's part of Trish's organization. She's doing a great job out there. She connected with some other people in Phoenix, Arizona. Met a guy named Steve Harrington, who's part of our team now, and they're doing weekly meetings out there. Incredible. And I put a message out there somewhere, and I said to Amy, Amy, pretend as if that meeting needs you to flourish. We meet here on Saturday morning, and there's a bunch of people on our team now, 43 people show up this morning. And a lot of times you can kind of get lost in the crowd, right? Well, if I show up today, it doesn't really matter. No one's going to notice me. Please don't have that attitude about this business. Always pretend as if this business needs you to show up with lots of people. What's the phrase? It's if you go to a meeting, if you show up to a meeting, whether it's in person or online, and you don't bring people with you, you need the meeting. Write that down in your notes. If you go to a meeting and you don't have your team with you, you don't have any prospects with you, you needed that meeting. If you come to a meeting and you bring your team with you and you bring prospects with you, that meeting needed you. And it's really what it's got to be, because as we grow into the thousands and the tens of thousands as Z Team, it can be very easy to get lost in the crowd, but don't get yourself lost in the crowd. As a matter of fact, look at the screen right now and say, how do I get the majority of my faces on this Zoom today? We gather twice a week, and this is part of the system. And I want to get to this point because I don't want to lose this, because this is important. Look at this business as a 2 to 4 year build. 2 to 4 years. Now that's it. 2 to 4 years, if we do this the right way and the company does what they're going to do, then you could put yourself in a position to have freedom. We're going to talk about that word here in a moment as well, freedom. But 2 to 4 years, a lot of people get involved and all of a sudden they start to have some rejection. It was funny, Colette and I were in a group text message with a couple people. And one of the prospects in the text, in the group message, is a motivational speaker, right, Colette? Yeah, one of the guys is a motivational speaker. I haven't met this gentleman yet. Can't wait. Oh, did we meet him yet, Colette? Not yet. So one of the guys is a motivational speaker. And one of the people that he's introducing the business to is not getting back to him. And the person who grouped us together, I won't mention any names. It's not important to mention the names. I don't want to share anyone's anonymity right now, but said he might be a little discouraged that his friend never got back to him. I go, motivational speakers don't get discouraged. Can you imagine being a motivational speaker and getting discouraged? Oh, no. If you're a motivational speaker, it means you're ready for whatever's coming at you, right? So I put in there, I go, motivational speakers don't get disappointed or discouraged. And I said this, and this is an important thing I want to share with you guys, so I'm going to stay on this point right now. People get in this business and they think, I got to sign up this one. I got to sign up that one. The truth is, no, you don't. You need one. You got to find one unbelievable person. This set my mind at ease when my mentor taught me this. He looked at me and said, Michael, if you find one amazing person in your organization this year, next 12 months, you made it. And I kind of looked at him cockeyed. I'm like, what? He goes, if you find one Colette Daniels, you find one Trish DeMarcus, just one. He goes, consider yourself the luckiest man in the world. Because you did your job. What did that do for my mindset? It made me think that I didn't need everyone to join me because I was only looking for that one. And then he followed it up by saying this. He said, if you find two in the course of a year, you end up finding a Suzanne or you find a Mark Langley. 2. Thank your lucky stars. You don't even believe what's going to happen to your life. He said, if you find 3, give the third person away. You don't deserve 3. I laughed at that. He said, you find 3 unbelievable people. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he wasn't saying if Michael enrolled that person. Are you guys with me? He's just saying if that person showed up somewhere in your organization. I hope that gets you guys to look at this business a little bit differently. If we all just find one person between now and this December, one amazing leader that joins your team, you made it. It's a 2 to 4 year plan. I got news for you. 2 unbelievable people that go president in this company. You guys realize what will happen to your life? Just 2. Now, a lot of us get into this. I got to sign up everybody. Oh my God, I got to get tough. No, you don't have to sign up everybody. Second point I want to share with you, and we're getting into the details here of this business. Number 2, I want you to write down in your notes this word, taprooting. Taprooting. I'm going to open this up and make this interactive. For the people who have never worked with me before, can anybody volunteer to unmute your line? Tell me what taprooting means. Suzanne Kitchens, this is the conversation we were having the other day, so I don't want you to answer either, okay?
You don't want me to?
I don't, because I already taught you this, so that would be cheating.
Zip. Okay.
Is there anybody that knows what taprooting is? Be bold and unmute your line and give it a shot. Let's see what you got.
I think I do. I I believe it's working continually on the bottom when as you add people and work with them, and then the work underneath them, you work with them, and you continue to work downward. You don't work upward because it's the root. You work on the root.
Ooh, Seth, perfect. I get excited about this. I get excited about teaching you all this because this is the stuff that got me to be wired for success. So write this in your notes. Always imagine, probably a dangerous thing to say. I think Colette and Trish are going to get me to change my language here in a second here. But maybe not imagine, because I don't want you to manifest. But always think to yourself this. Let's say I get started in ZTEAM and I enroll Colette and I enroll Trish. Always think to yourself, they're not going to be here in 3 to 6 months. Now, let me say this again. I don't want to imagine Colette and Trish not being here. That would be devastating for me. But what I'm saying is, this is going to lead you to my next point. Trish and Colette enrolled Gina and Patricia. They each enroll one of those two people. You know, the biggest mistake, some of the biggest mistakes I see in network marketing is what I'm about to teach you right now. They assume, well, I enrolled Trish and Colette, so I didn't really need to work with Gina and Patricia. Trish and Colette got them covered. How many people do that in this business? So here's what I'm saying to you. When Trish and Colette introduced me to Gina and Patricia, I'm going to build a relationship as strong as I can with Gina and Patricia, with or without Trish and Colette. Now, with their permission, by the way. But I have full permission from Colette and Trish to work with anybody they bring into this program. Correct, ladies? Yeah, and never assume you have permission. You always got to ask permission. But Colette and Trish trust me that if I spot somebody in their organization that's unbelievable, like I have with Amy Perkowski, like I have with many people on the team, Colette and Trish trust me as their mentor to go work with that person. So here's what I do. Gina, let's set some time to talk, you and I. Can we do that? Like, seriously, this is not role play here. Let's do that now that I'm looking at you. You got my number, right? Okay. And Patricia, you and I know each other a little bit, but we can get to know each other a little better. This week, let's make it a point for us to get on a call a couple mornings. Let's just talk about life. We'll talk about business. Do we got a plan? Okay. This is a real live example of me tap rooting, or what I call driving the line. You guys would be blown away if you knew how legends become legends. My mentor, Richard Call, enrolled 43 people in New Skin Enterprises. You guys heard of New Skin? He personally enrolled only 43 people. He turned those 43 people into 560,000 people. Just sit with that one for a second. He turned 43 people. I think Trish DeMarcus told me a couple months ago she's only enrolled a handful of people so far. 4. Trish has got 4 personally enrolled people, but she's got a massive team building soon to be into the thousands. How is she doing that? She's grouping her team together. They get together weekly. They do fun stuff together. And she's meeting all the people that her people are enrolling. She's building relationships with every single one of those people. And Trish is smart. She doesn't waste her time with the wrong people. She's looking for the right people. And when she spots someone that she connects with and bonds with, because that's when this business is fun, right? Find the people you love working with, not the people that are painful to work with. She finds someone she loves working with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels away from her. And then she locks horns with that person. And then she mentors that person, and then poof, that person builds a big team. This is one of my secrets in the business. Now, I enrolled 75 people in a past program, and in 12 months, it turned out to be 13,000 people. Let me share a quick story with you that I shared with Suzanne Kitchens that I want you guys to hear, because the rest of this call is going to be about the system and the weekly business and regiment that you put together. Because I hope all of you, especially when all of you get your Richard Call books and you start to read them, they're starting to get out there. I've been seeing text messages and posts of people reading it. Great. Monday, the rest of the books go out. So everyone should have them by Friday at the latest, which is awesome. And that book's going to be gold for you. But guess what? You're getting that book today. As a matter of fact, Colette, when you read the book last night, how much of Richard's words did he steal from me?
Every one of them.
I know. He's a
I
plagiarist.
was like, what in the world?
He's a thief.
How did he do this? But like 10 years before he met you, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's one of the mysteries of the mind, Colette. I know. I hear you. So I want to run some numbers for you. I was talking to Suzanne and Steve Harrington yesterday, a couple days ago, and I decided to tell both of them a story about my past of how I built an organization. And I've yet to do this with ZTEAM. But I'm committing to all of you that I'm going to build a local team in New Mexico, just so you know. Now, New Mexican are very different people. So when they start to hit the screen, just please be patient with them. They're a totally different breed of human beings. So as soon as I bring them in, don't mention this Zoom. I know this is recorded. Hopefully they don't go back and watch it. But New Mexicans are different. When you meet them all, you're going to be like, they're a different kind of people here.
Just
They're
it
just, huh?
could be someone on here that doesn't live there anymore. Shh.
I know, Colette, I get in trouble for these things, but I'm just messing around with you. They're beautiful people in New Mexico. So when I was telling Suzanne, I was telling Steve, I said, Steve, I go, do you want to work with me? He said, yes, I do. So, okay. I said, are you committing to a couple 2 to 4 years? He said, yeah. It's okay. I said, are you willing to do everything I ask you to do? He said, yeah. I said, everything. He said, yeah. I said, I'm going to ask you not to look right, not to look left. Don't look anywhere else. Just stay right on what I teach you. He said, yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay. I said, Steve, you have to have a meeting once a week, a local meeting. You have to have a local teaching every single week. Still lean on what we do here with ZTEAM as well. But I got to have you build something local. We all got to build local teams. And I started to give him I said, Steve, years ago when I got in the industry and I didn't know what I was doing. So it's a good story to share with you. I didn't know what I was doing. I called my mentor up on the phone. I said, Richard, what do I do? He said, Michael, I need you to have a meeting Tuesday night. Okay. Trish, remember when we did this together? So I need to have a meeting Tuesday night. Okay. I said, what am I going to do? And you guys write this down. He said, I need you to get in front of the room. I want you to do 4 simple things. And both Colette and Trish can do this for me. Colette, what's the first thing he asked me to do? Tell your
Team. What?
what are
Sorry.
the 4 steps of a simple presentation?
Tell your story.
1, tell your story. Write that down. Trish, number 2,
The company,
tell the company story. Colette, number 3,
Product.
talk about the product. Number 4, Trish,
the plan.
the plan. He said, Michael, I don't need you to be an expert presenter. I just need you to go in there and for the first couple minutes, tell your story. Number 2, tell the company story. Number 3, talk about the product. And number 4, let them know what the plan is, how they can get started if they want to be a customer or they want to do the business. Does that make sense to everybody? Pretty simple, right? Got in front of the room and I told my story. I was nervous. Oh my God, was I nervous? You guys probably don't believe it, but I was nervous. But you know what I was more nervous about? I was more nervous about staying where I currently was in life, so it got me out of my comfort zone to get up in front of that room. I wanted financial freedom. I don't know about all of you. I'm sick and tired of working all the time and then getting to the end of the month. And whether you make good money, great money, okay money, you basically make enough just to support your current lifestyle, your car, your house. People, when they make a little bit more money, just tend to buy a little bit bigger house or buy a little bit more expensive cars. But at the end of the day, not enough money to drastically change your situation. Still get to the end of the year and you made X amount of dollars and you got to wake up next year and go do it again. I'm tired of it. I tasted financial freedom in this industry once. I want it back so badly. So told my story, told the company story, talked about the product, talked about the plan. How many of you can tell your story? How many of you realize you have a story? You got a great story. Your story should include how you found out about Transact Card. Does that make sense? You don't have to start at birth and give them the whole timeline no, your story meaning, hey, you know what? This is what I do for a living. Quite frankly, I'm sick, just like I just said, I'm sick and tired of it. I was looking for something else, and this woman, Gina, came along and she sent me a text message asking me if I'd be willing to take a look at something as her friend. I said, of course. What do you got? She said to me, it was too important to talk about. We need to have a serious meeting. Okay, Gina, what could it possibly be, Gina? She said, Michael, no, seriously, I'm going to introduce you to somebody amazing. I got on the phone with that woman. We jumped on a Zoom. I found out about something incredible, and I want to share that with you. That could be a story right there, right? Number two, the company story. There's this company called Transact Card. It works like this. And you tell people about the e-commerce site, the Z Club, meeting this card and the swipes, and I don't have to go through it all. Every single one of you on the screen can do a decent Transact Card presentation. Best part is, if you're introducing it to a prospect, you don't have to. The other day, I got the pleasure of working with Aaron Whittier, and the guy crushed a presentation, like absolutely annihilated a presentation for me. I'm just watching this dude. I'm like, anyone that says no to this man is a complete moron. This guy is unbelievable. So, Transact Card, and then the product was the product. We go into that, and then the plan. Simple. So I did that on that Tuesday night, and the meeting was over. And what did I do? I called my mentor. Same way Trish used to call me at the end of meetings. Colette would call me at the end of a meeting. I love it now. I'm working with Trey Finch and the Finch team, and I'm working with some people on the team. And they call me right after a meeting. It makes me feel like the way I used to do it with my mentor. And right away, I get a big thank you with exclamation marks. That was unbelievable. Makes you feel good as a leader because you're helping somebody build a business, right? And I got that feedback from the team that I'm doing a good job and I'm helping them. I call Richard back. I said, Richard, oh my God. And I was so excited because 7 people signed up the first night. How many of you would like to sign up 7 people in one evening? You can all do it. You just got to make it happen. Just decide to have your first meeting. Gather people locally. I promise you, it'll be magical for you. 7 people joined. I said, Richard, what do I do now? He gave me the blueprint. He goes, have another meeting Thursday night. Thursday night? It's 2 days from now. He goes, yeah, 2 days from now. Michael, you got to keep doing this business. You don't do one meeting and then stop. So, okay. So Thursday night, we had another meeting. This time, about 14 people showed up. I think a handful of people joined. I called him after the meeting. Richard, I told my story. I talked about the, okay. He goes, how many? About 4 or 5 people joined. I said, great. So what do I do now? I said, Saturday, have another meeting. I go, gee, this is every other day you're making me do meetings? He goes, yes. He goes, if you do what I ask you to do, son, you're going to be successful beyond your wildest dreams. And I had blind faith and trust in my mentor. So I did a meeting on Saturday. I go, what do I do on Saturday? He goes, Saturday, you're going to do a little mini presentation. I'm going to follow it up with a teaching. And he never called it training. He said, Michael, we don't train people. We teach people. This is a business where we teach to teach. This morning, we're teaching to teach. So, okay. And you know what I taught for about an hour and a half that afternoon? I taught all the things he was teaching me. That's why we jump on these Zooms. I'm expecting you to write these stories down. I'm expecting you to remember these stories. And quite frankly, I'm actually expecting you to teach these stories to people right away. There's only 46 people on the screen right now. We got a ton of people on this team. A lot of people aren't getting this teaching right now. Guess who's responsible to give them the information? You. You got to relay this information. Now, in your defense, you can say, well, if they want it, they should be here. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. They should be here. But guess what? They're not. And that's your teammate. And you got to find a way to get them the information. After I did this for 30 days, we had 37 people on the team. 37. How many people would like to have 37 people in your organization in a month from now? Every one of you can do it, but you guys got to do what I'm telling you here. Got to do it. Don't not do it and expect your business to grow. It doesn't work like that. This business takes effort. You got to build this business the right way. The next month, 118 new people joined. The next month, 187 new people joined. And I built the foundation of a company that grew to $50 million in 12 months, almost solely on my shoulders as a leader. That's one guy. What if every single one of us on Z Team did it and followed Richard's system? What if everyone I'm looking at right now said, you know what? So let me just stop for a second. How bad do you guys want this? Bad? Angie Ross, talk to me for a second. You got a cool energy on the screen. Unmute your line. let's just be straight with each other here. Let's not mess around here. This is serious. But we're not getting here this morning because we enjoy getting on a screen like this for no reason. Like, Angie, how bad do you want this?
As bad as I can breathe. As bad as I need to breathe.
Really? Is that true?
It's true.
Tell us a little bit about you. I don't know you well. Where are you? It looks like you're in a beautiful home right now, but that looks like a fake background.
This is a great background. I'm in Arizona.
Okay, Angie, whose team are you a part of?
Well, I'm actually a guest here. Colette allowed me to come in today because
Okay.
I don't really have a good upline or a mentor, and I reached out to her because I want it bad. And I told her I want to be a Colette and I need to follow somebody and know what their footsteps are. And she was gracious enough to let me come in as a guest. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, no coincidence that I called on you. You're more than welcome. You can be a part of the Z team. You're here, okay?
Thank you. And, I actually met Amy at the first DBO meeting in Arizona here. And just, it was my very first meeting I've ever been to as far as physical meeting. Awesome team. And we all got to talk, and everybody was saying, well, what rank are you in? And we were telling our stories, and I said, well, I'm a VP. And they said, oh, well, congratulations. And how long did it take you? I said 6 weeks. And they were like, do you want to do the meeting for us? And I said, I was a guest, but I shared a lot of my story and what works for me, and the type of leader that I am to my team. Because one of the things I absolutely love about the Transact card is that it doesn't matter what team we're on. I mean, we truly can help each other wherever we're at. And I love that. And Amy just took me in with open arms and said, Angie, you are welcome to come back. We exchanged numbers. We had another lady that was doing meetings, and she said, Angie, I have like 400 people, DBOs in my team. I've been doing this for a few months, and everybody thought I was crazy when I first started, including my kids. And she says, I'm not to VP yet. I'm about 4 people away, but Spanish is her second language, or her first language. But she says, I have 2 meetings a week. And I said, would you be willing to talk to one of my DBOs who's Spanish? Because I would love for her to do this in Texas. And I connected them. And I have goosebumps right now just talking about how, your team has just, helped me in a sense. And then I reached out to Colette. So I am just a true believer of walking the walk and talking and making things happen and implementing it and duplicating it so that other people can do the same. And when you are a leader, people will follow because you're extending yourself, and it's like we're family. So
Yeah.
I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, very good. Well, obviously you proved your point of how bad you want this thing. You're already a VP. So guys, we got a VP on the screen. Congratulations. That's
Thank
pretty
you.
incredible. Yeah. So we've got an amazing community here, and you know what? You can help us too. Like you said, Angie, you help each other when you lock horns cross-line with each other, whether you're part of Z Team or just another Transact Card team member. Now it just all ships rise when the tides rise. So you get to push Amy, she gets to push you back. And I fully expect with a leader like you working with Amy and the team that we have on the Z team here, you're going to help them elevate to VP and president and beyond. So what a beautiful situation that is, right?
Yes. What a blessing. I am so excited.
Very cool. So I'm glad I picked on you, Angie, because me and Colette had that similar story. We were cross-lined to each other in another program, and you never know what the future is going to hold, right? You never know what the future is going to bring. Now, so I was asking, how bad do you want it? If you want it bad enough, I'm going to ask you all to please follow a proven system that works. Me and Colette talk about all the time. If we just build on Zoom and we just Zoom ourselves to death, you'll Zoom yourself out of this company. I'm just telling you guys right now. You have to bring people together locally. And here's the best part. I hate the word have. You don't have to do anything. Let me take that back. You deserve to build this business locally. You deserve to. Now, I know there's a lot of people on the screen that are saying, Mike, I don't want to do a local meeting. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell all of you. For anyone who says, I just want to sit behind the webcam with my shoulders, neck, and head and build this business exclusively online, I'm just going to wish you the best with your business. I'm going to hope you get lucky because that's what it's going to take. You better hope an Angie just shows up in your organization who's hungry and wants to go blow this thing out of the water, and then you sit back. But if you want this, like really want this, I'm going to expect all of us, and I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I'm not willing to do as a leader. I'm going to expect all of us to go build our backyard. So write it in your notes. I need to build my backyard. You know, in about a year, you know what's going to happen? In a year in your city, I don't care where you are, whether it's Wyoming, whether it's Oklahoma City, I don't care where you are. There's going to be a meeting coming to your backyard in St. George, Utah. And I just want to know how many people on your team are going to be there. You know, heaven forbid they take this business and it goes to your city and you find out about a big meeting that's happening. First of all, if you found out about it, that's kind of a problem. I'm hoping you're the one that's going to make that meeting happen. But if you find out about it and you show up with 3 or 4 people and you see hundreds in the room, you're going to be sick to your stomach. You're like, somebody came into my backyard and built my people. Oh, God. So here's what I'm going to challenge all of us to do. Make sure that when the meeting comes to your city, it's because you made that meeting come to your city. Guess where the meetings go? They go where there's people building the business. And when there's a St. George meeting, I'll bet my life on it. Trish is going to be there and she'll be 95% of the whole room. She'll be the whole team. When this goes to Washington State and Colette's region, Colette's going to be the majority of the room, the people. When it comes to New Mexico, I'm going to have the meeting started so that the company wants to come to New Mexico. And what I want to start to build as a team right now is Colette's ready to hit the road pretty soon here. I'm ready to hit the road pretty soon here. Trish is prepared to hit the road pretty soon here. We want to get on a plane and we want to start visiting some of you and your teams. And we want to spend 2 or 3 days with you and do this the right way. You spend 2 or 3 days with Trish DeMarcus or Colette Daniels or myself, and you gather 20, 30, 40, 50 people to learn from them, your business is going to go through the roof. Now, how many of you think you can get 20, 30, 40, 50 people enrolled in your city in the coming weeks? Let's do it. Let's do it. Get your backyard going so we can start to go out there and start supporting you and building this old school. Because this new school stuff, no glue, doesn't work. And you know what? Here's something to think about for all of you. This business requires a lot of energy, doesn't it? I mean, this takes up some of your day for some of you, a lot of your day for a lot of us, most of your day if you're Colette. If you're going to put this many hours into the business, don't you want it still to be here a year from now? I do. I only got into network marketing for one word, and we're going to talk about this for a moment here, because this is what got me excited about this business. Freedom. Freedom.
Steve's here, by the way. Just want to let you know.
Yeah, I saw him there. What's happening, Steve? Write that down, guys. Freedom. Got into network marketing because I heard a man talk about how he was 62 years old and he had complete financial freedom. He said, I have freedom. I can do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it, with whomever I want to do it with. And I just looked and I go, what? He goes, I can do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it. And I sat there as a 31-year-old kid in the audience that day. And I just, a 28-year-old kid actually. And I said, he can do whatever he wants to do whenever he wants. What the heck are you talking about? And he said these words, and I'll echo them to you. He said, network marketing is the only business in the world where you can build a business today. And provided you're with the right company, with the right product at the right time, build a business today that'll grow with or without you. And you get paid every single month, even if you don't lift another finger to make another phone call. And I heard those words and I go, what? So it's the only business in the world where you can build a business today that can pay you forever tomorrow without ever having to do any more work. It's like, wow. That got me. I said, I want that. You see, at the time, I had very successful people in my life. I always have successful people around me. I don't know about all of you. I don't hang out with turkeys. If you're a turkey, we ain't hanging out. No offense. I got to be around people that, even if they are a turkey, they're willing to grow some eagle wings and work hard on themselves to transform into an eagle, right? I've met some turkeys. I spent some time with some turkeys, but they were wanting to be eagles. I want to be part of eagle clubs only. I had a friend of mine at the time, his father, multi-billionaire. How many of you on the screen have a friend who's a multi-billionaire? Anybody? I love my story because I get to teach you guys things that I've lived an unbelievable life. When you really get to know me and all my stories, I can't believe some of the things I've been fortunate to be around. My best friend years ago, his father's name is Robert Bigelow. Anyone ever heard that name? Robert Bigelow is worth billions of dollars. So many, he refuses to let anyone publish his money. He would be on the Forbes list. He doesn't want anyone to know what he's got. Multi-billionaire in Las Vegas. We used to get on his private jet and fly around the country. So what a crazy life I've lived. But I hang out with successful people. And how many of you have read my book, The Belief Quadrant? Bunch of you? Good. I talk about Mr. Bigelow in the story on belief in the industry. I sat down with a billionaire after I found out about network marketing. We went to a country club, the Las Vegas Country Club, where Mr. Bigelow owns houses on that country club. And if you ever get a chance to be friends with a billionaire, take them out to lunch, don't let them go. Like, make sure you make them part of your circle as best you can. And for whatever reason, Mr. Bigelow liked me. I don't know what it was. I was a broke kid from Buffalo. I'd failed at everything in my life up until this point, but he took me under his wing and we'd have a lot of really cool conversations. I sat down with him this one Easter weekend and we were eating brunch at the country club. And Mr. Bigelow looks at me across the table and goes, Michael, what are you up to now? And part of me was embarrassed to tell him about network marketing. How many people have been there before? Ugh, I'm doing network marketing. But there was a part of me that said, I got to tell him. I got to find out what this guy thinks about network marketing. And I said, Mr. Bigelow, I said, I just got involved with a video streaming company and it's a network marketing company. His reaction changed my life. He looked at me, goes, good for you. Just like, good for you. I thought he was going to say, Michael, network marketing, give me a break. Those are pyramids. Those are schemes. Those are scams. Here's what Mr. Bigelow said to me. He said, Michael, that's a great industry. He said, a lot of my closest friends made fortunes in network marketing before they took their fortunes and built an even bigger fortune. And guys, you talk about belief in the industry. If a billionaire told you that he believes in network marketing, do you think your best friend since high school can tell you that the industry doesn't work and you're going to listen to that person? I always teach that story because I figured if this man, who's the wealthiest man I'd ever met in my life at the time, maybe in my life, I said, if he believes in network marketing, who else am I going to talk to that's going to poo-poo this industry and steal my dream from me? That was huge for me. Huge. If he would have looked at me that day and said, Michael, I don't think you should go down that road. Guess what, guys? I might have listened to him because of how much respect I had for him. Now, how many people do we hear about in this profession that when we're in network marketing and they go, oh, give me a break. You're in one of those pyramid things. You know, the sin of it is some people listen to those people and they never partake in this industry again. Oh God, it's such a sin to steal somebody's dream for them when you're ignorant yourself about what you're talking about. So make sure you know this. You got to teach your team. My goal is to be a teacher. I hope that after 6 months of being with all of you, you don't need me anymore. I hope after 6 months, you're like, we got what we needed out of that guy. His voice annoys the hell out of me. We're going to take what he's got. We're going to go build our team. I really do. I want you to teach this stuff to other people. You can tell my story to somebody. You know, I'm working with this gentleman who's made millions in network marketing. He had a best friend who was a son of a billionaire. And he went to that man one day and asked him, I got involved with network marketing. What do you think about that profession? And the billionaire looked back at him and said, good for you. People make fortunes in that industry. And then they turn their fortunes into even bigger fortunes. You know, I know a lot of people don't like this name, Donald Trump. I know a lot of people don't know the name Robert Kiyosaki. Both of them wrote a book back in 2006. Write this in your notes. Why We Want You to Be Rich. I know, Trish has it on her bookshelf. Why We Want You to Be Rich. And in 2006, these visionaries, these billionaire moguls, Kiyosaki's not a billionaire, but multi-hundred millionaire. And they wrote a book 2006 to warn each and every one of us about what was coming. You deserve to go back and read that book. You know why? They predicted the future. They predicted where we would be today. And they said this, if each of them had the opportunity and someone took all their money away, remove their fortunes, and they had to make it back, both of them said we'd find a network marketing company with a great product and superior owners, and we'd put our head down and go build a massive business. Those are the people I choose to listen to about advice about what I should be doing with my life and my future. So
Hey, Michael.
we go ahead, Trish.
I have to share this because this just happened to me a couple weeks ago. So someone put me in a three-way and I took it off the phone and I said, let's go get a coffee date. I would love to have a coffee with you and really connect. He's a multi-millionaire. And we sat down and here, you know, I had a little bit of limiting belief that it was a network marketing company, even though I know these stories, right? And so here is me with like, we're the first like hybrid, we're going to be a franchise. And he looked at me and he said, I really hope you're not going to be a franchise. I hate franchises. I've lost tons of money in franchises, the red tape and they're a nightmare, blah, blah, blah. He's like, if it's a franchise, I'm out. Like, but if it's network marketing, that's what interests me. So that was like a huge, huge moment for me to realize exactly what Michael's saying is that the people that actually have the money know, and he did educate me, which I already knew, that everything is about network marketing. Everything's multi-level, including his company that he's made a solar company, right? They're all that way, even real estate, brokerages, and it's all that way. And so when we really get out of our own way and stop those limiting beliefs and put it out there the right way, that's what people are looking for. The ones that are poo-pooing it, like Michael said, they just don't have a clue. They signed up, they told their mom, their dad, and their brother who stole their dream, and then now they think it doesn't work. And so you really do want to get that out of a head if you can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Trish, you called me after that meeting and you talked about that with me. Yep.
I did, because it was for me a big turning moment, because if you look at me 5 years ago, someone who was scared to get up, put their face on a screen. And then now I'm sitting down to be the third party credibility for this multi-millionaire. But I left there with a friend. Now we send each other podcasts and books, and he's amazing. And regardless if he joins or not, he's going to be my friend. He's going to be my friend.
Yeah, and I'll but guarantee you that regardless of what he does with it, he's going to be a referral agent for you, and he's going to send people your way when he thinks about what you're doing, and someone lines up with that. That's what happens. Trish, I had something really cool happen yesterday. Yesterday, I decided to show up to my dealership with a nice blazer, the one I wore to the event, Colette, the one with the little check design. And as a car salesman, I don't want to be the salesman who shows up in a suit and tie. Anyone who knows me has never seen me in a tie, by the way. Anybody in the past 25 years, I haven't worn a tie in 25 years. I hate ties. But yesterday when I went to work, I put on a nice blazer, nice crisp white shirt, nice pair of slacks, nice pair of shoes. I showed up for the work the first time in 10 months dressed like the GM. I couldn't believe the reaction. And I knew this already because I teach this. Dress for success. Write it down. Dress for success. This morning I'm wearing a hoodie. I apologize. First time I've ever showed up in front of all of you without a collar on. Dress for success. Trish, I show up for work. I had 2 appointments yesterday morning. I sold 2 cars by noon. It was a great day, right? Right when I walked in, everyone was in the sales meeting, all the salespeople, all the managers. The place is a ghost town except for service customers and a secretary. And I walk in, my customer comes in, I took him for a ride in his car. I could feel the way he looked at me, Trish, different from the way everyone's looked at me so far since I've been in the car. So I looked like, he goes, "Are you the general manager?" I go, "No." I go, I'm a sales rep, one of the top sales reps here. He goes, "Okay." When I go to the front desk, I go to make a copy of the ID. And I notice there's this man standing in front of the desk, right in front of our secretary. And I'm looking, I'm like, I know this guy. And as soon as he turns where I can see his face, it's Mark Menicucci. Now, you guys don't know Mark Menicucci. I know Mark Menicucci. 8 months ago, he bought a truck for his grandson. The guy came in dressed to the nines. Beautiful man. I mean, beautiful man. Beautiful outfit, well-groomed. He owns an insurance agency in Albuquerque. Every time one of my customers needs insurance, I text message this guy. The day I met him, I said, "Mr. Menicucci," I go, "I really like you." Yeah, you guys should laugh at that because people have said they like me, and I've taken that line. I tell people I like them when I like them. I said, "Mr. Menicucci, I like you." 8 months ago. I said, "Thank you." He goes, "I appreciate that." I said, "No, sir." I go, "I'm a networker. I'm not really a car salesman." I go, "I'm selling you a car today. This isn't who I am. I'm a professional networker, and I would love to network with you if you'd be open to that." He looked back at me and said, "Yeah, sure." I said, "Can I take you out to lunch?" He said, "Be more than happy to go out to lunch with you, young man." For the past 8 months, I've been referring him customers, and I ask for nothing in return. He hasn't referred me to one customer, just so you know. He's standing in front of me. "Hey, Mr. Menicucci," big smile on my face. I shake his hand. "Michael," goes, "God, you look great." And I'm like, "Thank you." It was the blazer, right? I finally dressed for success. Because of my appearance, he decided to have a deep conversation. He goes, "Let me ask you a question. You told me when we met you're not really a salesman. I never got into that. What do you do?" I said, I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a mentor to a lot of people. I go, I participate in the home-based business profession. It's how I've made my past fortune. It's how I'm going to make my next fortune. I go, but ultimately I'm a path changer." He goes, "What do you mean?" So I love teaching people. He goes, "Michael," it like hit him like a ton of bricks. He goes, "I want to introduce you to a lot of people." I said, "Who do you want to introduce me to?" He said, "I've got this group of entrepreneurs that I work with." And he goes, "Would you speak to that group?" I said, "Absolutely." He goes, "Give me a card. Would you get me a card?" Now I knew I wasn't asking. He's asking me. Run to my desk, give him a card. He goes, "I'm going to be in touch with you very, very soon." He goes, "There's something about you." He goes, I got to get you in front of some people." So, okay, sounds good to me. So again, anytime you can get into people like Trish is talking about, these successful people, guess what? Success is a lot easier when you're hanging out with successful people. It's hard when you're trying to turn turkeys into eagles. But guess what? The only way you can attract those people, and I'll end with this, is if you're more attractive. You have to become, and this is just, Trish, another example that I've told over and over again, this similar story. If you want to attract the life that you want, you have to become more attractive. If you want to attract the business partners, you want to attract the Colette Daniels, you have to be more attractive. If you want to attract the lifestyle, the freedom, the income that you want in your life, you have to become more attractive. And I'm not just talking about physically, just so you all, up here makes more of a difference. If you have an attractive mindset and you talk to people, you'll start attracting people on that level of thinking. Trish DeMarcus's life has changed. Colette Daniels' life has changed. Only because 5 years ago when I met them, they took the lesson on that I need to get better, right? In order for things to get better, you have to get better. In order for things to change, you have to change. In order to attract what you want in life, you have to become more attractive in every possible way. Now, Trish went into that meeting the other day feeling like, oh, I'm going to introduce them to network marketing. There was a little bit of that still residually in the back of her brain, but I'm going to assure you, the next time Trish goes into another meeting with a multimillionaire, and she's done this multiple times, she introduced me to the owner of the Squatty Potty. She introduced me in St. George, Utah, to the man and his mother who invented the Squatty Potty. You guys laugh. I had coffee with the guy. I was mesmerized. He invented the thing you put your feet up on when you're going number 2. I mean, this is the guy. I mean, but you know what's really cool about what I'm sharing with you today? These stories are what it's all about. Like, I get to carry around the Squatty Potty story for the rest of my life. I get to carry around the story that I met with Mr. Bigelow, the multi-billionaire, for the rest of my life. I wasn't who I am today 21 years ago. I was a shell of this guy. Now I feel like I can run $1 billion company like this. I feel like someone came to me and said, I think there should be messages on my phone lined up for days of companies calling me for a new CEO. I mean it. I swear to you, I mean it. And that's not arrogance. I think Trish DeMarcus right now can run $1 billion company as the CEO. I really do. This industry changes lives because we focus on these things that make you better, wiser, smarter. Could build a sales team of millions of people in a traditional sales company. I don't want to, but I could. So anyway, guys, we gather once a week for 1 hour on Saturday morning. I need a favor of all of you. Can I ask a favor, please? I'm going to get really serious with all of you. This stuff changes lives. You got to get your people here. This is Tony Robbins on steroids for free. We're not making money off of anybody here. We're not charging anybody a dime, but we should be charging thousands for admission to jump on a Zoom. I'm sharing that with all of you for one reason. I need you all to understand the value of ZTEAM. Angie stepped into a pot of gold when she decided to join our Zoom today. A pot of gold. Anyone you put in front of us, if they're committed for the next 2 years and they do what we teach, not going to just change their life in just this realm, it changed their life in all areas. Trish and Lacey took my path changers and they transformed it into elements. I don't care if you call them elements or pillars. I don't care what you do with what you learn here. I just care that you take it and go change lives with it. That's what I care about. This is not about Transact Card today, folks. This is about you growing as a person. And I get really, really passionate and serious about this information because you're sitting with a man who's made millions and blown millions and about to make it again if that's what I want to do. And I'm going to teach you how to do that every step of the way. I want to ask for a commitment on behalf of the leaders that are here today. I want you to commit to building a local business in your local city. And here's the number one reason why. I don't want you to miss out on all that fun Trish DeMarcus has been having for 5 years. The fun happens when you build this with people close to you that you can touch them, feel them, hug them, look into their eyes, see tears welling up in their eyes when you speak to them. Like, we're in a business that prevents suicide here. Seriously. We're in a business that literally keeps people alive because most people are walking around in a trance right now in this country. And most people are sitting glued to their TV set watching what's going on CNN or Fox or whatever they listen to. Most people are hanging around to doom and gloom. This is the best TV program in the world Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific right here. We ain't talking about any of that crap. Now, we could talk about that crap and every one of us would get depressed. It's an ugly world out there, but in these rooms, it's not ugly. We're talking about stuff that's going to help you. So I really, really, really want to end with this. If somebody said, Michael, you got one chance to teach one person one lesson about network marketing that will change their life, here it is for you. Colette, we're going overtime, just a couple minutes, I promise. Write this word down and make sure this word is stuck to you like glue for the next 5 years. Edify. E-D-I-F-Y. Edify. I taught this before and I'll teach it again, but I want you guys to know how important it is to edify who the Z team is. Edify Transact Card. Edify, build up, edify your leadership. We have a company being organized, we have a team being organized and run by Mrs. Colette Daniels. Ladies and gentlemen, she'll never tell you this. I'm going to tell you, she's a freaking legend in the making. The best you will ever come across. Nobody better. Hear me clearly. The best. The best. So when you get a chance to edify her and put her on a Zoom, make sure that person feels like they're about to meet with a female multi-billionaire. You guys hear me? The bigger you make her, and you can't make her big enough, the bigger you make her, easier your job is. Does that make sense? And guess what? When I say that about her, this is a business where we all have to get to that point. We all have to duplicate. Soon, and not soon, now, you are on the same plane with Colette Daniels. You get it? You are equal to her. Now, don't tell anyone you're equal to her. That's not edifying. You got to build her up. But every one of us can do this. This business is so stinking simple. I really wish we all can just magically pop off this computer screen and we all can be in a cabin for the next 4 days and give me 4 days with you guys. 4 days, not 4 minutes, an hour. Give me 4 days. You'll walk out of that cabin a new person. And we're going to do that soon with some of you on the screen that elevate to the ranks that you want to hit and prove that you want to be the leaders of this company. We're getting together soon. We do it in little chunks of time, little elephant bites. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. But edification's everything. When I talk to people, I talked to my friend Michael again at my work. I said, Michael, listen, I just got off a Zoom the other day with 1,800 people. They asked me to be a guest speaker. I said, this thing's going to the moon. He looked at me, he goes, what do I need to do? Well, here's my debit card. I go, no, I don't want your debit card. I need your time and attention. He goes, well, when do you want to talk? Can you send me a video? I go, no. We need to have a serious meeting. You, me, and my partner, Colette Daniels. And really, I want to fly Colette down just for that one meeting. I seriously do. Because I'd rather have Colette right there in the flesh with my partner, Michael, so he can feel her energy in person. Energy's caught, not taught. I will put him on a Zoom with Colette, but it's not good enough. If I put him together, me, him, and Colette for 2-3 hours over lunch, and Colette and him just talking, I get the hell out of the way. Colette, Mike's going to crush this. He's going to crush it. But if I screw up and I ruin his opportunity by sending him a 2-minute video and here's the link to sign up, I don't have a partner. You get me? I got to get more serious with the people. I'd rather enroll 2 unbelievably serious people than 20 people that are average, that got an average experience with this opportunity. When you speak to people, when you're setting your appointments, I'm getting intense, guys. I apologize, but I'm passionate about this. When you do it, make it serious. Please make it serious. And write this in your notes. If you don't make it serious for that person, you ruin the opportunity for that person. If I met an Angie, I'd say, Angie, let's get together, but let's do this the right way. I need you to block out 2-3 hours. Let's spend some time together. This is too important to just do over a Zoom or fling out to you haphazardly. That was the difference between Richard Call and everyone else I've ever met that calls themselves a leader in network marketing. Richard said, Michael, I spend time with people. I sit with them. I ask them about their life, their job, their career, their kids. I get to know a person. He said, when I find out that that person sitting in front of me is a good person that I like, based on what they told me, he'd say this, then and only then would I tell them about my opportunity. How's that for a mind-blowing lesson for you? This guy wouldn't just give you the presentation. He needed to find out if you were someone he wanted to spend the next 10 years with building a business together. Do you guys get that mindset? That's a different mindset, Suzanne. And while I'm talking to Suzanne here, when you build a team, you got to commit to them. You got to get them together weekly. You got to be with those people. It's so easy to quit this kind of business. Everybody wants to quit. And we have a rule here. Just don't quit on a bad day. We're okay if you guys quit. Just don't quit on a bad day. How many people quit on a good day? Nobody. You just enrolled 2 DBOs, a TCM, just had a meeting. It was unbelievable. And you go home at night. God, that was a great day. I think I'm going to quit. That's stupid. You never quit on a good day. Just don't quit on a bad day and you'll make it in this business. So We went 7 over, guys. I'd like to go 70 over. I don't care. It's so important that we teach you everything that we know about building a business. And know this, you don't need to look left, right, up, or down. We got you covered here. I'm not telling any of you not to get on DBO, Transact Card DBO calls. Please plug into the company and the system. But when it comes into what you need to know to build your business, don't look elsewhere. You got it right here. You got the best in the world right in front of you. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Colette and Trish and the leaders around me that have proven that what I've taught them is pure gold. So I will take your Venmo or your Zelle for the $1,000 for today's session. I'm going to need it in the next 30 minutes. I deserve $44,000 for today's Zoom. There's 44 of you, but I'm one of them. So I'll pay myself $1,000, but I'll take the money. I promise you, I'll put it towards Anzio's college fund. You guys will know it went to a good place. Anyway, love y'all. Let me open and take it back to Colette. I know she likes to keep these calls at an hour, and so do I, but I just, something told me I need to get really real and raw with you guys, and I hope you're okay with that.
Awesome, Michael. Thank you so much. Yes, everybody, just plug in. That's all we ask. Just plug in. It's so important. You want to win, you must plug in. So thank you all so much. We'll see you on the next call. Don't forget, next Wednesday, we have family night. I will be in Salt Lake City. And so I have, of course, Michael will be there teaching or helping to run this, but also Steve and Annabelle will be working with the team. So thank you all so much. We'll see you soon. Love you. Thank you, Michael. You're amazing. As always, fantastic job.
You're amazing. Colette. Love you.
Thank you.
Angie, welcome to the team. Nice to meet you.